Bonjour, bonjour, salut. J'espère que tu vas bien. I hope that you are doing very well today. I'm doing very well. And I'm really happy to be recording because I've been really busy. Just like this last week or so. And so it's been kind of hard to find time to sit down and record whenever it's quiet and the space can cooperate with me. So I'm very, 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 very happy to be here today. We're going to be going over some faux amis. We're going to be talking about faux ami, a false friend in French, ou l'inverse en français, a fake friend, si tu veux. And this is a word that sounds similar en français ainsi qu'en anglais. Sounds similar in French and English. Mais ça veut dire des choses différentes. But it does not mean the same thing. In fact, they're two separate things. Or similar things, but they're not exactly the same. There's enough difference to where it matters. But before we begin, I wanted to just reiterate, moi, je fais pas de vidéos privées. Je prends pas de requests. I don't do that. I don't make custom videos. I never have, probably never will. This is something that I've decided very early on that I wasn't going to do, simply because there's just too much risk involved as a creator to do that. Which I'm not saying that everybody who pays for custom videos is re-uploading them or asking me to do things that are seemingly innocent, but I wish that people could understand that the internet's a big place. Just because you can get somebody to fall for something and provide content that is extremely nefarious, that is seemingly innocent, doesn't mean that you're gonna get me. Okay? So, just to reiterate, I don't have any other social media channels. The only videos that you'll ever find are accessible by everybody, and they're posted on YouTube. So don't ever worry about needing to pay for my content from other places. If anybody ever says that they have content from me that's exclusive, that was made just for them, they're a fucking liar. Just straight up, they're a liar. Like I said in several videos, and I'll say it again in this one, I love doing ASMR. For me, this is something I do for myself. Je fais des vidéos ASMR, j'ai créé ces vidéos et j'enregistre des ASMR pour moi. Je fais pas cela pour d'argent. Je suis pas du tout motivée par l'argent, ni d'autres choses comme ça. Pour moi, je fais cela puisque je veux être créatif, ainsi que je veux m'exprimer. Peut-être parfois c'est vraiment drôle. C'est vraiment amusant de créer des instruments si tu aimes cela. Donc pour moi, c'est pas du tout quelque chose sexuel. Never have, never will be. It's just, I don't do that. There are people who do, which I would highly encourage the people who do want this type of stuff to seek out creators who specifically offer this. Don't ask people who don't do that. If I don't advertise that I have something like that, like you wouldn't go to an Asian restaurant and ask them to create like Italian food or Mexican food. You're at a freaking Asian food restaurant. Why would you do that? So don't come to somebody like me. Don't come to me. Don't come to me. Don't come to me. Don't come to me. Don't even ask. Don't even ask. Don't even ask. Because the people who have sent me emails asking for me to create these videos, I block your emails. And there are a couple of very nice people who have told me that have sent me emails, and I would like to thank them because they did send them anonymously, and I do appreciate that because as an ASMR community, we really do need to look out for each other. We're growing every day, and there are going to be people who try and take advantage of that and infiltrate it and use it in a way that is not conducive nor helpful, and it is very harmful. And if you are welcomed into the ASMR community and you're doing this to people, I want you to know that you're a fucking bad person. And I truly hope everything evil happens to you. And maybe I'll fucking hex you for funsies because, like, I'm bored, kind of. You know, I don't have a lot to do right now this week. Obviously, I have time to create videos. Maybe I'll hex you ASMR style and make a video because I don't like it whenever people come to my safe space and your safe space, because my channel is always going to be an accepting place for anybody and everybody. I don't care who you are, as long as you're nice and you accept everybody else for who they are and you don't try to push anything on them, like your ideas or your feelings. We good. No problems here. So just wanted to get that off my chest because I feel like that I always have to constantly draw the line and say that I'm my own person. I do have a life outside of this channel, and I would much appreciate the respect and the grace that I would extend to you. Please do not take advantage of me. Do not take advantage of other creators, and do not take advantage of my audience. Okay? Just so we're on the same page. But if none of that applied to you, and you're good, and you're here just for the channel, you're here just for this, then we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time. Me and you, me and you, me and you. We doing just fine. Just fine. We're doing just fine. You and I. So without waiting anymore, we can go ahead and get into the Faux ami. But thank you for listening to the rant. And if you skipped over it, oh well, here's a timestamp so that y'all know when to get back into this. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and look at this. Donc, so I think that I might end up creating this into potentially 2 parts, depending on how long it goes while filming this, just for editing's sake, and give you all more content, like delve it out over time, because I do make rather long videos, and I hate going, more than a few days without uploading something, or just a little bit more. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, but just a little disclaimer, there might be multiple videos, so if I look the same, that's why. So I found a list of faux amis, but they're more like expressions and turns of phrase. J'ai quelques faux amis, mais c'est plutôt des phrases ou des expressions, mais c'est vraiment drôle. C'est, comme on dit, it's like a little immature. It's like very, it's very like, they're embarrassing. C'est un peu, I'm just gonna start. You'll get the theme very much, so once I start. Les Français savent déjà introduire and introduce. Introduire. This means introduire in French means to insert. It does not mean to introduce something. Introduire, peut-être c'est la première fois que tu fais connaissance. Hey, pas de jugement d'ici. I'm not gonna judge you if you insert the first time meeting somebody, but to insert introduire, c'est pas du tout veut dire like meet somebody. So if you were like, hey, like the example that they have is Permettez-moi de vous introduire. Let me insert myself into you. Mm-mm. Don't say that. Don't say that. Do not say that. And like typically people would be nice. They'll know what you mean. If you're English and you say this to somebody in French, they're gonna laugh, but they'll know what you mean. But you would say the right thing to say is se présenter. Like you'd be like, let me present this person to you. And in English it can sound formal, but keep in mind that a lot of like the formal French that would have been, or the formal English that would have been used by people who were like upper class at the time, probably also spoke French whenever, like, I guess, like, think around like the 1900s, like early 1900s, 1800s, people who came here, they wanted to seem high class because it's like, if you could travel and go to places like France back in the day, that meant you had money. And so if you had money, what people would do is they would co-opt these phrases and these words in French and use them in a way in English, but it doesn't mean the same thing. And so this is where you kind of probably get a lot of faux amis in English, because the way that French has been used in France, it hasn't changed nearly as much or as quickly as English does, because English has more speakers, and it's spoken in a more wide area than French, and so this can lead to a lot of like just like little differences like that. But this is like a lot where if you're learning a language, context will matter. Where you're from, who you're speaking to, where they're from, or where you are at, and then where, like, who you are speaking the French with, or whatever language. This is where a lot of things like that will come into play, just because the movement of language and how it's used in the locale. So one thing to keep in mind. So yeah, there's just also a couple like little ones, short ones, and I'll be kind of brief because there's a lot, and they're really good. I don't want to skip over any of them, so let's go ahead and continue. So bras and bras, bras, bras. C'est un bras. Ça veut dire bras. Yeah, this is bras. Bras. A bra, the lingerie, this is actually soutien-gorge. Soutien-gorge is like what you'd call a bra in French. Bras, like, have you ever think of the word embrace? To wrap somebody in your arms. Embrasser. It's also like kiss somebody, to take them in your arms. So that is another really interesting one. But I think that for me, I didn't have a lot of trouble with that one, because in Texas we have a river, the Brazos River. Brazos. So yeah, I think it's like Brazos Fria. I think it's like the river, like the Brazos River. I don't remember. I think Fria's river. I don't remember. But anyways, clearly I don't speak Spanish, but I speak like just enough to where I sound like I do. But yeah, so this actually brings me to another faux ami for me personally, and I don't see this on a lot of lists for faux ami, because I was doing research for this like this video, just to like refresh my memory, because it's been a while since I've been in a classroom learning French, and this is something that I feel like that is covered for every class. There'll be some kind of tidbit for faux ami. And for me, the verbs soutenir, soutien is like the infinitive. The soutenir is to like to support something, but in French, supporter, ça veut dire you can't stand this. Like, donc soutenir, that's not like c'est pas évident en anglais. Soutenir, Si tu devais dire, like, oui, je soutiens cela. En anglais, you would say, I support that. Supporter. Donc, that for like the longest time really, really, really messed me up until j'ai appris le mot soutien technique, technical support. Et aussi soutien-gorge, c'est un mot qui m'aide un peu, mais c'est un peu bizarre de lire quelque chose, quelqu'un a écrit moi, je ne le supporte, je supporte cela, like, and it's like, okay, but like, are you for or against? Moi, je comprends pas exactement, mais yeah, un peu tangent, mais on continue. Donc, so I have a few of them that are a little bit dirty, but I think they're important to know because I have heard personal stories about a couple of these, and they're funny nonetheless. But if you don't want to, like, if you have a high stakes thing where you don't want to embarrass yourself, it can be important to know. Like, for me personally, like, whenever I was studying French, I was considering maybe a career in academia, and yeah, these are things where if I was with my colleagues discussing like a thing of like really important literature and I made a mistake with some of these, they'd probably be like, what the hell are you doing here? So yeah, that's why it's important to just know these if you really do need to know them. But yeah, so I guess I'm kind of gonna go through these quickly because I don't want anything to be like suppressed or not shown because it thinks that it's like dirty, but this is definitely for educational purposes and things like that. So if you want to say that you were to chat with somebody, parler, right? You would not say, let's go have a chat. No. Chat. This means ladies' privates. Her downtown bits, her whatever euphemism you want to call it, that's her area. It's the whole bit and shebang and box. It's the whole box with the bow on the outside, baby. It's the whole thing. Yes, chat is also a female cat. Kind of like how in English, a bitch is a female dog. But if you call someone a bitch, that's considered an insult, depending on who they are, if you're friends, whatever. Sometimes you could be like, sup, bitch? It could be like a friendly thing. But you wouldn't use chat in the same way. Chat is literally referring to the female anatomy of a woman. So yes, that is what the chat is. But yeah, it like everything, it depends on context. Like you won't see that word in text or in a book or online and it's automatically talking about that. 9 times out of 10, probably it is because it's slang and it's a common word for that. But that is one thing to keep in mind. So yeah. The next one is a little bit in a French accent. A little bit. Bit, ça veut dire pee-pee. It's a little ding dong. A ding dong. Bit, spelled the same way as bite. Je veux un bite. No, you don't want that. No, I'm not saying I want to bite. Tu peux dire je veux essayer. Je voudrais un petit peu. Tu tromperais pas. Something a lot like nicer. So be very careful, English speakers. Don't ask for a bite of something ever in French. Don't ask for it. It's not going to mean the same thing at all. So yeah, keep that in mind. So keeping things kind of in the same vein, kind of, I mean, it's all kind of a little bit dirty, a little bit immature, but it's really important depending on, you know, because conversations can go really any which way. And so it can be hard to navigate that all the time because things are constantly thrown at you without, like, you don't have like a syllabus or a table of contents for your conversation. And so it is important to know things like this because, like the word luxurieuse or luxurieux, that is not going to mean luxurious. Yeah, so Anglophones, you're going to want to use the word luxe. Luxe, lux, luxe. Because if you were to say that to someone, oh yeah, quand j'étais en France, je restais dans un hôtel luxurieuse. Je restais dans un endroit luxurieux. That means that you had a lot of orgasms. You got off a lot on your trip. Yeah. Don't say that. It's gonna say that, it's gonna kind of sound like, yeah, so you know, whenever I went on this trip, you know where I stayed? I stayed at a brothel. You know where I stayed? Club Med, but for swingers. Don't say that. Di pasa. Don't fucking say that. Don't do that. Don't say that. Swear to God. That is going to either get you some stares, laughs if you're with like people who have a good sense of humor. But yeah, I think that people would probably be a little bit caught off guard and then they think it's hilarious. So, I mean, probably a great way to make a friend, but if you don't want people to think that you live like that, you got it like that, which I mean, like, hey, if you do, hats off, dude. Like, really no problem. But it's just important to know what you're saying. So if you want to say that you stayed somewhere really nice, you could say like classe. Classe is like classy. It's really nice. It's like c'est très moderne. Moderne is like modern, but it doesn't also mean like in French, moderne is like also like this is like really new. Like this is not something that is like old. Okay. So this next one, I'll introduce it with the story that I have from a classmate from way back in university. So she was in France and she was staying, I want to say, I think that she was in Paris with her host family or Angers. One of the two cities. I know they're very different, but she was she went to the store and she says it was like at night after dinner, typically like between like 8 and 10 p.m. And so there wasn't a lot of people in the store, but she went there just to get some snacks. I think she was like gonna watch a movie that night. Et oui, c'est une petite histoire sur une amie à l'université et elle habitait, je crois, non, peut-être elle était en vacances à Paris avec sa famille de Corée, ou peut-être c'était quand elle était à Angers, mais elle était au supermarché. C'était au soir, mais c'est pas exactement pendant la nuit. C'est après le dîner, mais avant que la fermeture. Donc, quelqu'un a dit, tu dois essayer ce compote de pommes. Right? Like applesauce. Je crois, c'est le mot. Mais elle a utilisé le mot préservatif. Puisqu'en anglais, ça semblait comme le mot preservatives. Preservatives, ça veut dire confiture, parfois. Des choses comme ça. Mais aussi preservative, c'est un mot préserver, to keep fresh. So, elle a dit, l'homme qui travaille au supermarché, elle a dit, ah oui, pouvez-vous m'aider à se trouver le préservatif? And he was just like, tu dis quoi? And he hands her une boîte de Trojans. Je crois, ou Durex, quelque chose comme ça. Mais she was like, so I don't need condoms. What? She doesn't need condoms. No. No. So she had asked him, do you have... Okay, so so after she went up to this guy, right? She asked for condoms. Do you have any condoms? Because preservatif is something, it's not going to mean preservatives. It's not going to be like canned fruit, veggies. It's not jam or jelly. No. It's preservatif, ça veut dire condom. Condom. So, yeah, that is one thing to keep in mind if you're ever grocery shopping in France and you're looking for canned food. You would say préserver des, des canets, je crois. I'm gonna look that up really quick. Give me a sec. Like if you wanted to ask for like preserved food, la conserve, conserver, to conserve something, de food conservé. I think that's how you'd say like, or like, I think that like conserve, boîte de conserve, things like that, like canned food. Boîte de conserve, sounds like box of cans, but that's not. Boîte is also, it can just mean like a unit of something, like a packet, but not necessarily a sachet, because it's like if you want to say like a packet of something in French, you would say like sachet, but boîte, it's gonna be like a bigger sachet. I hope that makes sense to people, like where my mind's going, because this is like where with Faux Ami, it's so easy to go on a tangent and want to explain more, but then it just makes things so much more confusing to the people who are learning, and I'm so sorry if I'm confusing you with any of these. I just really like speaking about language, and there's so much I think that people could learn about it. Okay, so for the next one, this is important because you wouldn't say, like if you wanted to convey that you feel bad about something, you would not say je sens mauvais, because you just told everybody that you stink. You would say je me sens mal. Je me sens mal. Because the verb sentir means to smell. Je sens quelque chose mauvaise. I smell something bad. There's a bad smell. But se sentir, that means to feel something. So, English speakers, question. What is the word sentiments? Sentiments means deep feelings. Se sentir, ça veut dire quoi en français? To feel something? Tu vois le rapport? Do you see the connection? Do you see how these are related? Sentiment, feelings. Se sent, to feel. Okay? We don't have reflexive verbs in English like se sentir. So this is something to keep in mind with reflexive verbs, that little demonstrative article. I have no idea what they're called. But yeah, se, me, te, vous, nous. I think that's all of them. I freaking forget. My bad. I'm the worst student. If you're any of my professors, je suis tellement désolée. But yeah, so yeah, you wouldn't say je sens mal, je sens mauvais. No, je me sens mal, je me sens mal. I feel bad, je me sens mal. That's what you'd say. Okay. So, if you've ever been a student of French and you're an English speaker, I'm sure that this one will bring up some repressed memories of French class. Excited. Excité. You don't want to say that. Of course, you can say that you're excited. You can say je suis excité, but you would really need to follow it up with something to announce the context. Because if you just say je suis excité, that's what that means, dude. So if you wanted to say like, oh, I'm excited, like if you want to be like, I'm really excited to do this thing. Je suis très excitée à l'idée de faire ça. I'm really excited at the idea of doing this. Ou je suis très excitée ou impatiente à l'idée de faire ça. So it really does depend. Because you wouldn't say, I mean, you could say, je suis très excitée de faire ça, but it's like, it's not the best grammar. And je sais bien que j'utilise de la grammaire comme ça sur cette chaîne YouTube, mais en même temps, pour moi, cette vidéo, ce n'est pas du tout une façon de m'exprimer exactement parfaitement ou correctement, puisque pour moi, je suis en train de toujours apprendre français, comme beaucoup de vous m'aidez dans les commentaires de mes vidéos. Ça m'aide vraiment beaucoup à améliorer ma prononciation ainsi que mes connaissances, surtout la langue française. Donc oui, c'est une chose... it's really just... yeah. I know that it's not the right grammar, but if you use it in that way, it's better than just saying je suis excitée sans d'autres contextes. Mais si tu dis je suis excitée à l'idée de faire c'est plus joli et ça dit pas que tu es horny. Donc. So yes, another one that j'ai pas encore appris avant qu'aujourd'hui, c'est le mot trainee et traîner. C'est tellement évident après que j'ai appris exactement que ce mot veut dire en français. Mais trainee. Traîner in French means kind of like you're somebody's bitch. Without doing a Google search. I think I don't want to do a Google search to see if my inclinations are correct, but I have the idea that this might be something that is associated with a certain adult community that takes people and likes the submissive aspect of things. I think this is a word for a sub. Because je suis entraînée, that would be like I'm their bitch. Like I'm their little plaything. Like I'm associated with this person in a power unequal relationship. So this is something to really keep in mind. Like you would not show up at the first day of your internship and be like, je suis entraînée. No, no, no. Tu dis, je suis dans stagiaire. Je suis stagiaire. Je suis une stagiaire. I'm an intern. Because you wouldn't say, like, you wouldn't go to a job and say that you're a trainee. That's not a thing that is in France. You would say like stagiaire, you know. I don't remember what the word is, but anyways, don't use that word. That's all I know. I didn't even think about it meaning this word, but I feel like that probably French people who come to the US or maybe even in other Anglophone parts of the world, I have no idea, and they see the words aircon for like air conditioning on like vans for repair and things like that. Le français, penses-tu de quoi quand penses-tu de quoi quand tu vois les mots aircon? L'aircon. Sur le fond d'une voiture ou un camion, quelque chose comme ça. L'air con, ça veut dire seem stupid. To have l'air con in French means that you just kind of look dumb. You seem a little stupid. Like, you just like someone walking down the street. Il voilà l'air con. Ces gens-là, l'air con là. That's like, you see someone walking down the street, you're like, they look like a dummy. They look a little stupid. Like a little, yeah. So, I never made that like association. But yeah, air conditioning really just sounds like it's like we just have a bunch of looking stupids in our house to stay cool. Which, I mean, I guess like acting stupid at one point was being cool. Things to think about. Okay, so I have another story for this next one. So there was somebody, I think that I heard this story from one of my French professors, which rest in peace, he has since passed away, and he was one of the best teachers I'd ever had. He was definitely somebody that encouraged me to learn French, and he was actually really good friends with the business teacher who told me to stop doing international business and consider French instead. But so beaucoup et beaucoup. 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 Beaucoup is like probably what some English speakers would use to mispronounce the word beaucoup. Beaucoup means like a lot, like very much, like merci beaucoup, like thank you so much, thank you very much. So yeah, because if you said merci beaucoup, you're like thanks good ass, like thanks you fine piece of ass, like because beaucoup is really like it literally translates to like beautiful behind, but like cool is like your butt, like just your butt, but also but also really don't confuse it with the word cou. Cou is also your neck. And this brings me back to the story. He was, I think that he was on a trip. Like, he was like chaperoning, I think, like a trip to Europe one time or something like that. He was there with other teachers. And she didn't speak French very well. She was a non-French teacher, just accompanying this trip from my understanding. And I think that she speaks German, but they were in France. And so she was like, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to try and speak French with people while I'm there. And she was doing good. But I guess she didn't sleep well the night before. And somebody had asked her, like, oh, you know, like, how, comment t'as dormi? As-tu passé une bonne nuit? As-tu bien resté? Ah oui, mais j'ai mal au cou. Mais j'ai mal au cou. She said, but my butt hurts real bad. I didn't sleep very well, but my ass hurts. So, obviously she wanted to say j'ai mal au cou, like I have neck pain, but she said that her ass hurt instead. So, this is definitely where the pronunciation of a word can really matter, because you would want to pronounce that L, because pronouncing that L in cool, that makes it butt. Because if you just said cou, like neck, C-O-U, and beaucoup, C-O-U-P, this is how the spelling does determine the pronunciation of a word, and it's not always like English or Spanish or other words where you would pronounce every single letter, where the ending really will determine the whole meaning of the word. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really like French, is because getting the pronunciation right as an Anglophone is damn difficult, let me tell you. But yeah, keep that in mind. This next one, I have never had a problem with it, but I have had a friend that has, he was on a date one time, I think, and he had told his date, like, he was trying to say that, like, he really enjoyed his meal and that he ate like a pig. Don't tell somebody je mange comme un cochon, because you're saying that un cochon in French means you're insatiable sexually. Like, you love sex, like, can't get enough. Sun up to sundown, you getting it. Don't tell people you're a cochon. Because it's like, it doesn't mean like how in English where we think of pigs are gluttonous. En français, le cochon, ça veut dire like quelqu'un qui aime la nourriture ainsi que le sexe, peut-être, je sais pas exactement, mais c'est en anglais. Si tu manges comme un cochon, ça veut dire que tu as mangé. Peut-être tu as mangé beaucoup, peut-être. Mais c'est assez drôle d'apprendre que les cochons en français, c'est peut-être les cochons français sont plus sexuels. Je sais pas. Mais c'est tellement drôle, à mon avis. I think that's freaking hilarious. I love it. So yes, this next one is a really important one, because I think that English speakers need to really be careful, because they you could really come across like you want to screw everybody. And this is also one of the things. To envy something, you would not say j'ai envie de toi. That's not how you tell somebody that you're envious of them. You're literally telling them, I want you, as in your physical body. J'ai envie de toi. It's like, I want you. Don't say that. Don't say that. Because if you would be like, it literally means like, I want to, like, I would like to intend to have sex with you. I would like to intend to sleep with you. And so you could be like, je voudrais, like, and that's being polite, because you could also say like, je veux, like, je veux manger, like, I want to eat. Okay. So I think that this is going to be the last phrase for this video. I do have a bunch of other faux amis and verbs and things like that, but I think this video might already be probably getting close to at least like half an hour, maybe even longer. I have no idea until I get to editing, but I've been filming for a while. But so this last one, oh, and en français, je vais enregistrer une deuxième vidéo, dans une deuxième partie pour cette vidéo, puisque je veux pas faire une vidéo trop longue, puisque je veux pas prolonger la vidéo. Mais oui, la dernière phrase ou une expression, c'est drôle, mais je suis pleine. Je suis pleine, ça veut dire like oui, je suis consciente. Because like je suis pleine en anglais, ça veut dire I'm full. But I'm full, ça veut dire j'ai trop mangé. J'ai assez mangé, peut-être, oui. I'm full, ça veut dire que I've had enough to eat. J'ai assez mangé. J'en ai assez mangé. Oui. So, et peut-être like you could say like if like I'm full, like I ate. Like people also tend to overeat, I think, and so like you could even say like j'ai trop mangé, peut-être like oh I'm so full. Like si tu veux offrir des gâteaux, un dessert, quelque chose comme ça, glace. Mais quelqu'un a assez mangé peut-être déjà. They would also say like, "Oh no, I'm so full. I'm really full. I can't eat anymore." Like you could say like, "No, I've already eaten too much. I shouldn't." You know, like something like that. And so like, but there's, mais aussi en anglais, on dit on va avoir un bébé, mais la bébé en nourriture. Et je déteste cette expression, puisque pour moi, je veux pas du tout imaginer quelqu'un fait caca. Like, vraiment, like give birth to a baby made of food. Pas mon style. C'est pas du tout mon truc. Mais oui, ça existe. So, I think that it's funny. C'est un peu drôle, à mon avis, puisque oui, peut-être quelqu'un s'est tombé enceinte, mais en même temps, non, c'est pas ça. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here and get into the next one, the next one. I'm hoping to have it posted at least like a day after this one, and so if things go right, hopefully this one will be posted on either Thursday or Friday my time, maybe like late in the day. Maybe je vais essayer de publier cette vidéo et la prochaine partie le jour suivant. And I don't know why I didn't say this at the beginning of the video, but fuck the Supreme Court. Fuck the Supreme Court. Fuck the Supreme Court. I fucking hate them. I fucking hate them. I fucking hate them. They're a bunch of old bastards. And one bitch who does not represent the people. But yeah. Also, I just wanted to say that I only have a few people who watch my videos compared to other people with much larger platforms, but you know, no matter what platform you have, big or small, I think that it's always the right thing to have a voice when it comes to things that affect you. And with the reversal of Roe v. Wade, my life will be greatly impacted and my quality of life will decline, especially if things like contraceptives are taken away, like birth control. I'm somebody that has to rely on hormonal birth control to like not have my quality of life literally spiral. I'm one of the, like, I feel like like small people that isn't affected by that negatively, and I am able to take this medication without a side effect. And the fact that the Supreme Court is literally choosing to put people's lives in danger is truly bewildering, and it is terrifying. And yeah, just know that there are people like me that I was told the very first time I ever went to a gynecologist that I should never get pregnant accidentally because it would probably kill me because of my family history and my personal medical history. And being a teenage girl, never really having any experience with things like that, that's something that stuck with me, and I've never felt like that I shouldn't have access to things like that. And so yeah, I really want to tell anybody that if you are against this, or you are upset like me, or you might even be rejoicing, I just want you to know that, like, if you're rejoicing, we're definitely not on the same page. And if you're rejoicing, to me, it feels like you're literally wishing my death. And I really have no words, because I didn't choose to be born in this body. I wish that I had a healthy body that didn't have these issues. But that's the reality of my life. And I'm not alone. There's so many people like me in this country and around the world, and I don't know, it's just wild. Abortion is as American as apple pie. So if you think it's un-American to get an abortion, hell, preventing my right to, that's un-American. You even a patriot? Do you even freedom? What the fuck? Just kidding. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this one now, and then I'm gonna do the other one. And yeah, I just couldn't forgive myself if I didn't like put that in there. Who knows, maybe I'll move this to the front of the video. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. Let y'all relax after that slightly hostile rant. But yeah, I'll see you next time. Yeah. So, j'espère que tu vas dormir très très bien. Bonne nuit, bonne nuit, bonne nuit, bonne nuit, bonne nuit, bonne nuit. Good night, good night, good night. À bientôt. Bye.